we're looking at concatenating along an axis. It is a data wrangling kind of concept in data science. I'll be sharing my screen shortly, and I'm going to show you how this is done using Pandas and Numpy. So we can see my screen. I'll try to make it in the presentation mode. So the topic for today is going to be concatenating along an axis, and it could either be the row or the column when it comes to data set that we're going to work on. This is a very common tool, a very common concept in the field of data science, trying to prepare your data for analysis. So the first thing we're going to do is, first of all, we need to import numpys and pandas, and we do that. Import numpy as pandas. You can see import numpy as np, import pandas as pd as well. And the next thing you're going to do now, we want to create two series using the pd.series kind of function. So by the time we do that, you can see you have the series here. We have for the index, we want to use it as what? ABC, and the series should be 1, 2, 3. And you can see here, you can see the index comes here as ABC 1, 2, 3, and they are integers. The next thing, we're going to create two series. Remember, we're trying to concatenate. So we're creating two series, starting with this. You can see we're using 4, 5, 6, and the index is DEF. Okay, so if you look at the output here, it comes out. So we have two series now, series 1 and series 2. And by the time we want to concatenate the two series along the axis using the function concat, so we're going to concatenate them, and we use the pd.concat, and you put in the series 1 and the series 2. We can please take note of the square bracket that is here, and the normal bracket, the parenthesis bracket that is also is very important when it has to do with two data types, data series that you're using, or a particular data type that you're actually trying to bring into your pandas or trying to work with it as a whole in terms of data. So we look at it, we have two series here, the series 1 and the series 2, and we're concatenating them using the function concat. So by the time we do that, we bring it out, you can see it is being concatenated ABC 1, 2, 3, DEF 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's how it's been done along what, if you can see it along the what, the row axis is along the what, the row axis is not the vertical columns. Okay, so let's look at how can we make it in the column axis by adding what, an argument called axis equals to 1. Okay, so by the time you do that, you can have something like this. When you're doing it, you can see we have changed it just what, comma with axis equals to 1 to make sure that the series come together in a row kind of way. Let's see how it goes here. Can see now we have A, B, C, D, F combining, and you can see it joins it. You can see there are empty, there are what they call null values here when it comes to, because they are not joined in terms of row anymore, but rather in terms of columns. So you can see there are empty values, there are null values here, there are missing values here. You can see here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over here. They are alternating because of what, they are being added according to column, taking note of their indexes. You can see DEF was that of the index of the second series. Okay, so let's create another series and let's see how it goes. We have 7, 8, 9 ABG. Okay, so by the time we call it out, you can see ABG comes out, and the series is 7, 8, 9. And the next time you want to concatenate, when you concatenate series with column, with the common index along the rows, to include duplicate index values. So let's see, we have duplicate index values. We are combining, now we're going to combine two series that have like the ABC. Let's see let's see what we're going. So if you combine series 1 and series 2, by the time we have it, you are going to have a duplicate index value. You can see we have AB here. We also have AB here, which is going to give us a duplicate index value. So how do we concatenate two series with different index along the column axis? Will create what? This particular one will create missing values. So you can see here we have series 1 and series 2 that have different indexes. It will create what? Missing values. So you can see here, though we do not have duplicate indexes, we have what? We have missing values when it comes to adding them according to what? Columns. You can see here practical case compared to these other ones that there were no missing values, but they were rather duplicate indexes. Okay, so that's how it's been done when it comes to. So how do we sort this out? Okay, so to sort this out, we include what? A particular kind of argument known as what? The join equals to inner. This one brings it together. Let's see how it makes it work, how it works operate. Now you can see series 1 and series 2. You can see the axis is, we want it to be added in the column way. So we use the join equals to inner function argument, sorry. And by the time you do that, you can see here all these particular missing values are actually what? Being removed. Okay, so this is a practical case when you want to use it in data, where you're trying to manipulate or wrangle your data and try to make it clean enough for your analysis. Okay, so for data frame, we're going to use two data frames, and we'll use the function pd.dataframe. Please take note of the cases that we're having. It's very, very important. So we're going to use states and the populations it has. So you can see by the time I call out frame 1, you can see how it comes out in terms of data frame. And you can see it here. This is the first data frame that we're using, the first data frame. The second one has to do with state and also the population as well. The second data frame, and you can call it out. You can see how it looks like. So how do we concatenate these two data? But we use the concat by default. It does what? It concatenates along the row. So by default, the concat function does what? Concatenate along the row. So how do we see it? If you bring it out, you can pd.concat. The other one we did for series, we are also doing the same here. By the time we bring them together, you can see two of them comes together, and you can see the indexing is actually 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, two of them have come together, but in terms of what? Rows. Okay, so when we concatenate along the row, we create new index using the argument. You can see there's an error, there's a kind of mistake here when it comes to indexing. We want it to be the same. We don't want it to repeat itself. When it comes to 3, it starts again 0, 1, 2, 3. No, we want to make it the same. So we tend to put an argument that is inner underscore index equals to true. By the time we bring it out like this, it comes it out. You can see it starts from 0 and goes down to 7. An amazing work so far. So now let's now create these two data frames. Let's bring another one when it comes to frame 3, and we can see the same thing that we did up there. We added up here California and the rest. We want to create another data frame, and let's see what we can do with it. So now we have concatenated these two together. Let's see how this one is. So this one now comes out for us. So how do we now bring them together? By that has two data frame. Let's now create two data frames. So this is another data frame. This particular one, we want to add them according to columns. We want to add them according to what? Columns. Okay, the other one we added according to rows, but this particular one will be adding them according to columns. So you can see they have, this is state and population. This particular one will be water and area, compared to this other one that was just state and population, and this other one was state and population with common titles, with common titles when it comes to properties. Okay, you can see here column names with the same column name, but these other ones are different column names. So you can see we have state and population, but this particular one is water and area. How can we concatenate them? Okay, so by the time we do this, you can see we can concatenate this data by using the column axis by what, using the argument what axis equals to 1. So by the time we do that and concatenate them, you can see here, we bring them together, axis equals to 1. And tada, you're going to see, according to column wise, you can see here, it comes in here and you can see states, population, water, and area comes in differently. An amazing work done and a fantastic work to be done. So thank you very much for joining. And this is the beginning of our series. It's a new way I'm trying to also find a way to make sure that you understand the whole concept of data wrangling using Python as a programming language. Thank you and have a fantastic day ahead. If you have any issues, you can always send a message and send it to either my LinkedIn, or you sent in I would like to see it in the comment section as well. Thank you for joining in.